Hello, world and universe. Welcome to the Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth. And if you're new to the channel, please hit that like and subscribe button. And for all my continued followers, I want to say thank you. And I try to bring you interesting commentary, true crime stories, and things that are taking place throughout our country and our world that you might not be familiar with based on your busy day of going to work, raising kids, taking care of your family and your household. And for those who are following me, I try to provide information that's informative. And if you want to support my channel, I do have a Cash App at $Trevor Donald 20. That's Trevor Donald 20 Cash App. And thank you for any contributions. But just when we start talking about the friendly skies, there's been a lot going on with Boeing. Remember, Boeing had a relationship with McDonnell Douglas, and Boeing, of course, builds and creates all of these great big jets that people fly on commercially. And of course, when you're going up in the air, hundreds of thousands of feet, you want to make sure that every nut, bolt, and device has been well prepared for you to fly in the friendly skies, and it doesn't become the dangerous skies. Well, we had a whistleblower. This one is all about Boeing, and there was a whistleblower who was exposing some of the manufacturing issues that were taking place with these aircrafts being built and Boeing employees making shortcuts. Here we go. Boeing whistleblower John Barnett found dead in U.S. John Barnett worked for Boeing for more than 30 years before retiring in 2017. In the days before his death, he had been giving evidence in a whistleblower lawsuit against the company. Boeing said it was saddened to learn of Mr. Barnett's passing. The Charleston County coroner confirmed his death to the BBC on Monday. It said the 62-year-old had died from a self-inflicted wound on March 9th, and police were investigating. Mr. Barnett had worked for the U.S. plane giant for more than 30 years until his retirement in 2017 on health grounds. From 2010, he worked as a quality manager at the North Charleston plant, making the 787 ocean liner, a state-of-the-art airliner used mainly on long-haul routes. In 2019, Mr. Barnett told the BBC that under pressure, workers have been deliberately fitting substandard parts to aircraft on the production line. Wow. He also said he had uncovered serious problems with oxygen systems, which could mean 1 in 4 breathing masks would not work in an emergency. 25%, 1 in 4. So if you have 100 passengers on there, 25 of them are going to be in a world of trouble. He said soon after starting work in South Carolina, he had become concerned that the push to set new aircraft built meant the assembly process was rushed and safety was compromised, something the company denied. He later told the BBC that workers had failed to follow procedures intended to track components through the factory, allowing defective components to go missing. He said in some cases, substandard parts had even been removed from scrap bins and fitted to planes that were being built to prevent delays on the production line. Wow. He said that they in some cases, substandard parts were even used. And we're sending hundreds of people in an airline way up in the sky. He also claimed that tests on emergency oxygen systems due to be fitted to the 787 showed a failure rate of 25%, meaning that 1 in 4 could fail to deploy in a real-life emergency. Mr. Barnett said he had alerted managers to his concerns, but no action had been taken. Boeing denied his assertions. However, in a 2017 review by the U.S. regulators, the Federal Aviation Administration, the FAA, did uphold some of Mr. Barnett's concerns. It established that the location of at least 53 non-conforming parts in the factory was unknown, and that they were considered lost. Boeing was ordered to take remedial action. On the oxygen cylinders issue, the company said that in 2017 it had identified some oxygen bottles received from the supplier that were not deploying properly, but it denied that any of them were actually fitted on aircraft. After retiring, he embarked on a long-running legal action against the company. This is Mr. Barnett. He accused it of denigrating his character and hampering his career because of the issues he pointed out. But these are charges that are rejected by Boeing. At the time of his death, Mr. Barnett had been in Charleston for legal interviews linked to that case. Last week, he gave a formal deposition in which he was questioned by Boeing's lawyers before being cross-examined by his own counsel. He had been due to undergo further questioning on Saturday when he did not appear. Inquiries were made at his hotel. He was subsequently found dead in his truck in the hotel car parking lot. Sounds suspicious. Speaking to the BBC, his lawyer described his death as tragic. In a statement, Boeing said, "We are saddened by Mr. Barnett's passing, and our thoughts are with his family and friends." His death comes at a time when production standards at both Boeing and its key supplier, Spirit Aerosystems, are under intense scrutiny. This follows an incident in early January when an unused emergency exit door blew off a brand new Boeing 737 MAX shortly after takeoff from Portland International Airport. That made the news. U.S. launches Boeing investigation after the blowout. Luckily, nobody was killed, but yeah, the whole damn door came off. You know how scary that could be? Boeing review finds disconnect on safety. A preliminary report from the U.S. National Transportation Safety Board suggested that 4 key bolts designed to hold the door securely in place were not fitted. Last week, the FAA said a 6-week audit of the company had found multiple instances where the company allegedly failed to comply with manufacturing quality control requirements. What a story. This is Boeing, the biggest government contracted company for building airlines that go hundreds of thousands of feet up in the air. I don't know exactly, but it's way too high up in the air to fall down. And they're not making sure that they dot every I and cross every T to make sure these planes are 100% affirmative and accurate for flying. Not 98, not 90, not 75, but 100%. When you're taking these citizens, U.S. citizens, people from all over the world are putting their lives in your hands, Boeing, and you are worried about rushing production and manufacturing and making shortcuts. This is not a bus. This is not a car that you see on a highway. One mistake could end everybody's life on one of those big Boeing airplanes. And if Boeing is making shortcuts and doing substandard work, this is one of the top priorities that the U.S. Government needs to take a look at and needs to audit and make sure they admonish all of these inadequacies that are taking place. People love to fly during the holidays. I don't like flying a whole lot with TSA. I think it takes too long. There's too much confusion. I have a minivan, and I love to drive. I've done international flights. I'm done with all of that. But this is very troubling when you think about Thanksgiving, Christmas, and all these holidays where people are getting in these planes and they're hoping and praying that the planes have been built not to 100% of their standards. And we're finding that some of these planes are being built with shortcuts. And then this whistleblower ends up dead. I don't know. Here we go with the conspiracy theories. Tell me what you all think. This is a big one. Boeing whistleblower found dead, shot with a gunshot wound in his car. This is the Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth.